Okay, we just finished grinding a 60-degree angle, included angle on our cutting tool for the threads. We're going to single point chase some threads on our nut gauge. Now, it really doesn't matter which set of threads that you thread first, but we're going to use either one of those diameters to align our threading tool 90 degrees to our axis of our spindle, and likewise the nut gauge. Now, the reason why we offset that 60-degree angle to the left on our tool is so when we're chasing thread, it moves pretty fast, a 1/16 of an inch per revolution on 3/4 16 threads. That allows us to stop our machine in time, because we have to stop it right before it runs into the 7/8, in this case, the 7/8 diameter. So you can see if and likewise over here, so you can see if we ground the angle in the center, it might run in. You might not pull it out enough or stop it enough in time to prevent from running into the other diameter, the bigger diameter that you're threading. So that's why we offset that angle to the left, because we have to stop our machine and have to have some pretty good reflexes, but that's why we do that. So let's go to the lathe, set up our threading tool with our center gauge to line up our threading tool, and then we'll set our machine up to thread. So, all right, so we're going to check the threads with the 3/4 16 nut and a 7/8 14 nut to check our progress. So we'll go ahead and do the 3/4 16 threads first. All right, let's go to the lathe. Okay, we're back at the lathe with our threading tool. So I'm going to continue using my left-handed tool holder. And now we have to align our threading tool with our nut gauge against the surface of any diameter. So I'm going to loosen my clamp, and I may use this diameter right here. So that's gonna be maybe a little more. So I have a piece of paper so I can compare it. That helps lighten up the background a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit. And now, just like with our cutting tool, I want to check it, the tip of my cutting tool, with either my dead center or my live center. So I'll just put that right there. So it's a little bit low, so I'm going to loosen this and bring it up a little bit. All right. Now I can also check my tool against this if I wanted to, against my tailstock shaft. So any diameter that would help line up the tool, you'll be okay. Okay. All right, so let's chase some threads. Let me go ahead and put it between centers, and we'll set up our quick change gearbox and set our RPM. So here we go. Okay, I have my nut gauge between centers. Now what I want to do, oh, I forgot to mention, you always want to make sure your compound is set on 30 degrees, because we're going to move our compound. We're going to advance our tool at 30 degree angle. That's one side of the 60 degree included angle. Also, you want to verify that when you get close enough, or when you get close to the groove, that your lathe dog is not going to hit any part of your compound or your tool holder. And so it looks like it's going to miss, in this case, probably 3/4 of an inch or so. Okay, so you want to verify that. That way you don't have to move your tool, reset your tool anymore. All you got to do is change the pitch when you go to the quick change gearbox when you're ready to thread the other thread. Okay. Okay, our spindle speed, I always suggest to my students to thread in the red. Always thread in the red, because at 16 threads per inch or even 14 threads per inch, that carriage is moving pretty quick. And to pull it out where the groove is, you have to be very quick. So we're going to thread maybe, we'll go 63 RPM. Put it in the red, and 63, there we go. Let's see how fast that is. Okay, I think that's slow enough. Okay, so I'm going to start my spindle and change my quick change gearbox to 16 threads per inch. 16, there it is. So I'm going to go to coarse. I want my arrow pointing toward the coarse. I want to be, so I pull that knob, pick that up, put it in that column. Okay, it didn't go all the way in, so I'm going to cut my spindle on. That makes it easier to change your quick change gearbox settings. There we go. And now we need to put it in C. So that's 16 threads per inch. Of course, this column and C. Now let's check that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cross feed on 0 without running into my 3/4 diameter. Get my back, because we're going to go back to 0 every time right here, every time. And then we touch our tool with our compound, just like we did when we were turning. Touch. Alright, I'm touching. And now we want to use our dial, our threading dial, and engage it at any line, whether it's numbered line or unnumbered line. So I'm going to engage it right. I'm going to use this lever to engage that. So I push down, and I'm going to check that pitch right there with my center gauge. That's supposed to be 16 threads per inch right there. So as soon as it gets to the gap, I pull it out. I pull this lever up, and it stops my carriage. Now I want to cut my spindle off, and I'm going to use the 32 because that's a multiple of 16 to check to make sure that pitch is correct. And all those lines, or not all the line, every other line lines up with the lines on that 32. You can also, when we do our 14 threads per inch, over here, when we do our 14, we'll use our 14. And that means every line should line up there. So, okay. All right, so we got our quick change gearbox at the right setting. We got our RPM at the right setting. We're always going to go to 0 here every time, and then we're going to change. Well, we need to put this on 0 too, since we're just barely scratching the surface. So I'll do that. So I'll show you how to do that. So I got to cut this video off because I'm almost at my limit. So, and we'll start another video.